Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. All things Middle Earth here with some details on Chapter 3 of the Mines of Moria raid. We now have some more details on why the devs are claiming the Gondor squad will be the best in the game. And it might surprise you that one we already have, at least a lot of us already have, is going to be, I think, very, very competitive in this chapter, which is very good news. So stay tuned. Details on Chapter 3 coming up in just 1 second. Okay, so jumping right in, the raid chapter 3 will be available September 12th. So depending on how often you're doing raids, you might just catch us on your next one, or you may just miss it. So you may, if you're a leader especially, want to try and time things. If you can delay without going over on keys, I would personally do that so that you can hopefully get access to this. As far as I'm aware, last time when the new chapter released, even if you're in the middle of a raid, you can still roll over the next day once it goes out. So if you start on the 10th, let's say, on chapter 1, 11th on chapter 2, I think you can do it that way. Again, don't quote me on that, but I believe that happened last time when chapter 2 dropped. So try and time it correctly if you can, but it's called Blades in the Dark. We've had a little bit of information and they kind of teased that Gondor was going to be the best option, and I think they will be good. But I want to talk about another team, the Elves, who I think are going to be fantastic in this chapter as well. Now, first up, the big thing here are the scoring rules. So it says gain 400 points per living ally at the start of every ally's turn. So huge survivability on teams is going to be very, very good because every single turn you can get points for the more allies you have. And the Elves being a team that you can bring allies back, the only team you can revive allies, is very, very good to keep those going as much as possible. Next up, we have gain 600 points whenever an ally blocks an attack. We have gain 600 points whenever an ally evades an attack. Also something the Elven squad does. Probably not like the best out of any squad, but they do have quite a few evades. So again, they're just, I think, going to be that team that's well-rounded in a lot of these, but I do think 3 could be their best one yet, which is really exciting. And then gain 10 points for each health percentage healed on an ally. Again, lots of healing for the Elves, so on and so forth. So jumping into the Orcs, the different Orcs we're going to see here, a lot of them we've already seen, if not all of them. From the first chapter, we have the Moria War Drummer, the Skull Crusher, the Mangler, Firestarter, War Guard, and Shadow Seer, as the Orcs will see in chapter 3. Now, in terms of the mechanics that are going to make this difficult to survive and get a lot of points in this, it says the Orcs are going to have a new passive ability. It's going to be called this one, which on their spawn, they're going to gain 1 stack of Unbreakable, which means if their health is depleted, they then lose that stack of Unbreakable instead of being defeated. So it's kind of like an extra free hit they get. So they're going to start with a stack of Unbreakable, or at least when they spawn in, which I don't know if that'll mean the very beginning or not, but at least as new Orcs come out, they'll get Unbreakable. Whenever this character attacks the target enemy on their turn, inflict marked for 3 turns and call a random ally to assist. Now, marked means everyone is forced to attack them. It's like a bad version of a taunt. So they could attack anyone and then they're marked for 3 turns and just going to get focused. And in addition to being marked, they're going to also call an ally to assist. So lots of damage going out very, very quickly with these guys. And it also says if the enemy was already marked, inflict 1 stack of captured. So as they keep attacking and piling up attacks, they're going to put stacks of captured on. And then it says on end of turn, gain 1% turn meter for each enemy in each stack of captured on all enemies. And then on death, summon 1 random Moria Orcs. They just keep coming over and over and over again. And again, they're going to try and put marked, attack 1 target as much as possible, put captured on them, which then means their turn meter ramps up and they just keep going and going. So it's very much about survivability and keeping these mark stacks off. So cleanses should be very useful as well. But the reason that I do think that Gondor is going to be very, very good at this is because, first of all, from a points perspective, Denethor, if you get 600 points per block, Denethor's leadership, if you look at his leadership ability right here, Gondor squad members are going to gain 10% block chance for each living Gondor squad member. So again, that's pretty good. Not to mention when Gondor squad members block an attack, they get immunity, which means they cannot receive any bane, so they could not receive marked. So it's kind of preventative from that marked feature. But again, a 50% up to 50% block chance. And then a character like Boromir, he has a passive, which is going to give him a 10% additional block chance. So up to 60% block chance for Boromir there. And Denethor's passive is also going to be able to give provoke to allies. So if we look at his basic here, Fierce Decree, it says attack for 160 and grant provoke to the Gondor squad member with the highest health that is not in stealth. So Boromir, super tanky character. He has the highest or tied for the highest armor stat in the game. So again, he's going to get the provoke a lot from Denethor, high block chance, blocking that, getting himself immunity. So even if he does get hit, he's not, marked and getting all kinds of captured on him. They're just going to kind of cycle things through Boromir like that. Again, it'll be interesting to see how the whole thing plays out. But that's kind of why the Denethor or the Gondor squad is looking pretty good in this raid. Now, last but not least, some player effects are going to happen as well. When an ally kills an orc, cleanse 1 stack of captured. So again, you need to take orcs out to cleanse those if you don't have your own cleanses. And when an ally gains taunt or provoke, cleanse marked on all allies. So again, Denethor, every time he basics, is basically going to cleanse marked from everyone else. So he's going to basic, give provoke to the character you want to provoke, and then cleanse it off anybody else, the marked from anybody else that does have it. So again, Gondor's going to be very good, I think, but I do think the elves have a lot of viability here because of their survivability, the revives, the heal. Again, there are some provokes on characters like Eladin that I think are very good. So I do think the elves could be extremely competitive. If not more than Gondor, at least I think with a legendary character, they're going to be very, very good at it. I will say, just as a word of caution, they did tell us that the Haradrim team would be the best in Chapter 2, and I think they will be, but I think everyone's expectations were very high, that they would just immediately, you know, get 900,000 points in difficulty 3 or whatever it was, and that's not the case. I think we need to wait for the glyphs or the version of mods to come out to potentially add some things to it, or higher gear or whatever it is, Chapter 2 is very difficult, so just keep that in mind. Don't go all in on Gondor just because they say it's going to be good here. I do think it makes a lot of sense. I think their Haradrim on paper makes a lot of sense too, but I just think they need some more investment. So that could end up being the case for Gondor, where they need investment to make it work. So again, make the decision if you want to kind of go for a Chapter 3 team. I think Gondor is a good option. Again, the elves, in my opinion, obviously it's a legendary. It takes a lot more time. The elves are, I believe, almost all farmable now. I know Arwen for sure is, and I think Eladin is either here or very, very soon going to be here. So the elves are kind of a well-rounded team. They actually do very well in Chapter 1 as well. Chapter 2, it's not amazing, but it's just difficult for everyone, but they can get some good runs. And then if they're one of the best in Chapter 3s, it definitely makes sense that the elves could be a very, very good team for everyone to farm first if you're new to the game. So again, just wanted to put this video out here to let you guys know that there is more info in terms of a date and all the kind of strategy for Chapter 3 out there. So let me know down in the comments below what you think about Chapter 3. How are you enjoying the raid experience overall? Because I'm liking it, but it's taking some adjustment to get used to the different kind of RNG or just difficulty in some of the different chapters. So let me know what you guys think of these. That'll do it for me this one, and I'll see you all in a future video.